Hi friends! Welcome to today's Pick a Card Tarot reading. So today we are doing a pick a card reading on what chakras or which energy center in your body is blocked or needs some attention. So because I just have, I have all of these piles with associated chakra centers for each pile. And so it'll just be, it may be an actual blockage that you have that needs attention, or it could just mean that that particular chakra in your system needs a little bit of work or your attention without necessarily it being some kind of dire blockage or anything like that. But we have the cards here as well to give us a bit more of an understanding. So I wrote out each energy center twice in a big pile of cards here, and then I shuffled them out. So it's possible that we had some repeats in each pile as well, and that will just let us know that you know, this is a bigger issue. But then the cards themselves will talk about how specifically it fits into your personal situation and what are some things you can do to kind of work through those. So before I begin, let me tell you which pile is which. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. Once again, that's pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. So if you go to the description of this video, at the bottom of the description, there will be a link to your reading in that description. And so you just click on that link and it'll take you right to your reading. So without further ado, we're going to start with pile number 1, and I'm going to move all of these other piles out of the way. Hi there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So this is your reading on which energy center within your body, which chakra needs some attention, needs some work. And like I said in the introduction, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's totally and completely blocked. It's just that this is an energy center within your body that could use your attention right now. So let's figure out for you, you've got the root chakra. Okay, so this is your base energy center. When it's blocked, it can be, you can be feeling sort of a lot of anxiety potentially, insecurity in general. The root chakra is all about connecting us to the earth, rooting us to the ground. And so it's our sense of stability. It's our sense that, you know, we have a roof over our heads, we have enough to eat, we have, you know, those very basic human survival necessities. The root chakra is all about those. So we're going to tap into the cards to kind of see a little bit more about what your situation is and why, what you could do for your root chakra to help you. I already know the answer is grounding, but we can figure that out a little bit as we go through here. We've got the moon. Okay, so the moon can come up, at least in the tarot. This is from the Fairytale Lenormand. I don't know exactly the Lenormand meanings, but from the tarot meanings, the moon tends to be that you don't quite see everything that's ahead of you. You don't quite see all of the steps. You don't quite see exactly how things are going to be working out. And, you know, the moon can talk about, it's like when you're traveling at night here, you don't necessarily see the entire pathway ahead, but you are illuminated by the moon, so you can see some things, but you're unclear about a lot. It can also talk about emotions being emotionally blocked, or having a difficult time connecting in with your emotions, or being overly emotional potentially. But I think for this particular situation, there's a feeling of uncertainty. I think that you have a feeling of uncertainty in your life right now, and that is where this root chakra blockage is really coming in. You're uncertain about some things and situations that are occurring in your life. You're uncertain about the reasons why maybe some things are happening, and you're unclear on the future, and that might be causing you some anxiety here. And some ways that you can kind of alleviate that is really kind of reminding yourself that, you know, you don't have to have everything figured out right now, right here, right now. That, you know, that you can connect back into your own heart center and your own self in order to get back into this kind of groove of feeling okay, you know, that sometimes things are uncertain and that uncertainty is okay. Let's continue to read the cards here. You got 2 of the Wild Unknown Tarot. Normally I just pull 1, but I got 2 for you. So let's see what we have here. Okay, we've got the 5 of Wands, which could talk about feeling at a stalemate, feeling like you're fighting with different people around you. You're like constantly in some kind of fight energy. You know, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this card is kind of depicted as 5 people that are all battling together, and they're in a stalemate. And maybe that can be an internal or external stalemate for you, but whatever's going on in your life right now, you're in a situation where you feel like you're in a stalemate, where you feel like you can't move forward, and that there are things blocking you. But in reality here, you also have this Justice card, which talks about balance, and it talks about this like connection in between these 2 opposite forces, right? It's the white and the black. It's the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, if you want to look at it from that perspective, like a Tao symbol. And the thing about that is it's all about this idea of balancing of opposite forces and understanding that you can't have one without the other. That when you look at things so completely dualistically, like this was all bad, this was all good, you actually get really stuck within yourself. And in reality, things are more complicated, things are more complex, and that there are 2 sides to the same coin, that you know, a coin doesn't just have a heads and a tails, it actually contains both, and it needs both in order to exist. So it's a perspective shift. I think you're being asked to switch your perspective on certain situations in your life, and that's really going to help you with this root chakra imbalance. You know, grounding can really help. And what I mean by grounding is like certain kinds of meditation where you are really connecting back into the earth, maybe even just going out into nature. I have a grounding meditation on my channel that might help you, so feel free to check that out. But other than that, we also have this, you know, there's just this idea that maybe things maybe you feel like you constantly have to fight, right? You have to constantly fight in your life. And maybe you're being encouraged to kind of put that mentality down, that not everything is a battle, that not everything is a struggle, that not everything is a fight. In reality, you know, you could shift your perspective and start to see things in a different way so that you don't feel like you're constantly having to battle here. And instead, you can feel like you can relax, you know? Gratitude can really help with this kind of situation as well, practicing gratitude. There's some really wonderful gratitude affirmations and gratitude meditations that are out there that can really, really help you because it's really hard to feel anxious, to feel anxiety, to feel depressed, to feel depression when you're feeling the sense of gratitude. So it's really shifting your perspective and saying, okay, I understand that there are things in my life that I don't know what's happening. I understand that there are certain situations that I don't know what's going to happen. But what are the things in my life that are here, right now, not in the future, not in the past? What are the things I have currently, right here, right now in my life that I'm grateful for? And what are the things in my life that I'm thankful that exist, right? And we all have things to be grateful for, you know? If you have a roof over your head, you know, that's something to be deeply grateful for because not everybody has that, you know? If you have food, if you have access to food, if you have access to clean drinking water, you know, these are things we take for granted in, you know, in the West, and I don't know exactly where you are because people from all over the world are watching these videos, but, you know, if you're watching this video, to me, that means, that signals that you have access to the internet, you know? So if you have access to the internet, that alone puts you in this category that, you know, that you have something to be grateful for, you know, and that you have things in your life. And even if you don't have anything, right, even those people, you know, they have their health, they have their bodies, they have their minds and their intelligence, you know, so you have all of that access to you. And you know, I think you're really being encouraged to go in and kind of come back into yourself, come back into your body, come back out of your head, out of your fears and anxieties, and ground yourself into the world, into the present. And that's going to really help you. And gratitude can really help with that. Next up, we have from the 1JJ Swiss deck, we've got the Emperor. Okay, so yeah, I think you're really being encouraged to kind of take on that grounded energy, right? The Emperor doesn't have to force anything to happen because he's the Emperor. The Emperor, all things come to him. He takes action, right? He's the divine masculine. So he knows how to act and move through life in situations where he's making things happen. But the thing about it is that he he never has to force anything. Things just happen with him and for him because he's the emperor, right? He doesn't have to prove himself, because he just is. And so you're kind of being encouraged to take on that air, that energy, that deep stability of like, here I am, this is me, this is my life, this is my situation, this is who I am. And I don't have to argue for it, I don't have to fight for it, I don't have to be stuck in this fighting energy, because I just am who I am. And you know, and you're being encouraged to do that, to just live as yourself and not feel like you have to fight for it, because it just is. You are who you are. You don't have to fight to be yourself, right? You never have to fight to be yourself. You just have to be. It's a letting go sometimes in order to become, you know, who embody all that you are. But you have that capacity with this Emperor card here, available to you. And so you're really being encouraged to find that within yourself, to find this connection to your own inner being, your own inner spirit. And that's really going to help you balance out this root chakra. And you can also look up, I would look up root chakra meditations on YouTube. There's a bunch of them. If you're really, really feeling energy blocked, you know, there's certain Reiki healing and energy healing that is available to you as well. But you don't have to necessarily even pay for anything in order to get this kind of healing. I would do some research. There's so many resources and tools available out there with the age of the internet, for you, for healing any blockages that you might have in this root chakra. So, excuse me. So look into that. Final card we have is from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and I'm going to read directly from the book for this as well. We've got changes. So you get somebody else's perspective. I always like to do this, just so you get some other words and some other ideas floating around that maybe I'm not talking about. Like ripples from the smallest drop of water in a pond, the smallest changes in one's life can bring about the greatest rewards. Think about changes you can make in your life. These do not have to be grand, sweeping changes. Judicious, small changes can add up to life changes after time. Think about small changes you can make now that will add to your quality of life. Clean out clutter. Commit to walking every night after dinner. Cut out processed foods from your life. Alternatively, big changes are coming your way. No, I think that that's exactly right, right? That, you know, in order to break out of some of this energy and to feel more stable, right? It's just small changes that you can make in your life. You know, how can you make yourself feel more stable? Really ask yourself that. What could you change in your life? Even small changes that are going to make you feel better. Cleaning out any kind of clutter, right? Being in a more clean and clear space can honestly help you leaps and bounds break out of some of that anxiety factor. Like those environmental factors can be deeply, deeply important in helping with this kind of thing. So anyway, that was my reading for you, pile number one. I hope that it resonates. Please feel free to let me know in the comments either way. I love to hear from you. Deep thanks to all my new subscribers. I'm so excited to have you with me and deeply encouraged to continue bringing this content to you. In order to keep this channel going, I am always asking for your support in however you can. One of the major ways that really supports me and can help you as well is through the private readings that I have available on my website. So if you ever feel like this wasn't enough, that my readings aren't enough for you, we can do a private reading that'll get deeply, deeply involved into your own personal life and your own personal situation. I have two different options available. On my website, www.junodrome.com. One of them is a half an hour pre-recorded video. So in that half an hour, I will pull as many cards as I can and really dive deep into your situation, whatever it is. Or we can do a face-to-face 1 hour reading through video chat where we have a conversation. It's a little bit more conversational. We can balance things out together that way and really tune into what's going on. So that's one way you can help support me and I can help support you. A really nice exchange. Another way is I've just launched a Patreon page. Feel free to check that out at www.patreon.com/junodrome. I'm super excited about it because one of the tiers, one of the perks, there's a bunch of different perks available for you at different price point levels. With lots of different bonus content to give you a lot more clarity in your life and situation. But one thing that I'm super excited about is I am designing my own tarot deck. that is going to be hand printed, that I'm making myself, that eventually I'm going to sell the whole thing. But before I do that, my Patreon supporters will have first access to these cards. You will get each month with a handwritten letter from me with my own interpretations of the card. You will get the card itself, so that eventually over months you will build the entire deck. So anyway, that is my spiel. Thanks for listening in this long. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for helping me make this channel a reality. I'm really excited to continue to bring you this kind of content. That was your reading pile number 1. I hope you have a wonderful day. Catch you later. Hi there, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading for which chakra in which energy center within your body is blocked or needs some attention. Like I said in the introduction, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have a total and complete blockage of this chakra. It just means that if you could do some work in a certain energy center in your body, this is the one that needs the work. It needs some attention. And you could have multiple piles. So if multiple resonated with you, feel free to click on multiples. And we have a potential to have some multiples spilling over in here because I used 2 of each energy center card in each pile. So you've got, let's check it out, the heart chakra. Okay, the heart chakra can be, it tends to be blocked when we're blocking out our emotions. Maybe we've experienced loss, we've experienced difficult situations, heartbreak, right? Different heartbreaking situations. And it can continue to be blocked when we don't give that our attention, when we don't let ourselves heal from situations, when we don't mourn things properly, when we don't process things the way that they need to be processed. This is kind of near and dear to my heart because I was actually blocked. My heart chakra was blocked for years. And before I really kind of tuned in to learning how to heal the energy centers of my body, before I even really knew that that was a thing, I was really hurt for a long time, and it brought me into this really dark kind of a place. I was very depressed for a long time. I suffered from deep depression. And so, I know what it feels like to have that heart center blocked off. And I know what it's like to open it back up again. So I've got that. I can give you that help here. Let's continue to look at the cards and kind of gauge what your situation is in particular. First up, we have the cross. Okay, so this is a deeply spiritual card. I've got this sense of spirituality coming. You can kind of see like this girl is dancing in the wind and she's got spirits blowing and there's spirit guides out there watching her. So, I think that whatever's happening, whatever this block was, when you open your heart back up again, when you learn how to open your heart chakra and your heart space, it's going to come from this interconnectedness. It's going to come from this feeling of being spiritually aware, of being deeply, deeply in tune with your own spirituality and your own connection to the other realms and nature. This spirit is reminding me of an angel. She's got this angelic quality. So I don't know if you work with angels at all, if you believe in them, if you have that kind of tuning into those systems. But if you do, this card is telling me that those angelic beings are there to help you. The Archangel Raphael is the one who can help the most with emotional pain. And so, I think I'm really getting the sense here that you have the potential to work with Archangel Raphael to help heal any kind of heart blockages, right? Any kind of heart pain, any of that. You have not only those angel beings out there, but you have your own personal guides and your own personal spirit team, your own different beings and entities and ancestors and all of that available to you who are trying to work with you. They want to work with you. I'm really getting this sense here. And as you learn how to heal your heart, I feel that you're going to be opening back up into the ability to really connect with this and connect with those that help, that's looking to come into you. And, with the wind blowing here too, it's telling me that there are signs and synchronicities in your life right here, right now, all around you that are really trying to open you up to this to this new sense of spirituality. And it's just it's a matter of you learning how to see the signs, right? There's a face in the rocks down here. So it's like that kind of like, there's a sign all around you. There's these signs and symbols that you're being sent as guidance, to help you through your life and your situation. And you're really being encouraged to start paying attention to those symbols. Next up we have, from the Wild Unknown Tarot, we've got the Ten of Cups. Okay, wow. This is talking about ultimate emotional fulfillment, ultimate love, right? You have this coming into you. This is wanting to come into your life. And you might be feeling blocked in the heart right now, but when you work through these blockages, when you work through that pain, whatever darkness that you're afraid to look at, that's being held in your heart, when you learn how to let this go, you've got this ultimate emotional fulfillment that's wants to come into your life, right? This is ultimate love, ultimate happiness. You have that ability present in your life that wants to come in. So you're really kind of being encouraged to do that, to follow that, to open your heart to this emotional fulfillment. And, and it's going to come from this sense of spirituality and spiritual enlightenment. And just knowing that you have help available to you. You have entities and beings and love that's possible for you, that wants to come in for you, that's ready to be a part of your life and be a part of all of this with you. And, the heart center can be blocked from a lot of different things. But one of the main ways to kind of help yourself through that is to really tune within and, connect into your own loving center. And then also there are other tools available to you as well. I would look up heart meditations on YouTube. There's some really, really wonderful ones. My grounding meditation on YouTube can be really helpful for the heart center because it's connecting to the loving nature of the earth itself, and connecting into the love of the earth and bringing that love into your own heart can actually really help clear out anything as well. So check out my grounding meditation. That might be helpful for you. But also there are many other options available on YouTube as well. There's some really great, just like basic heart center clearing. There's like music to clear the heart chakra with certain frequency tones. All of that kind of stuff can be really helpful for you. And I encourage you to look that up on YouTube because that might really help you through some things. Next up we have, from the 1JJ Swiss deck, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. So the Knights tend to be like any kind of motion or movement that's happening within the spread. So, you've got this movement in towards abundance. You've got this movement towards the Pentacles energy. And you're really kind of being encouraged to make some moves in whatever's going on in your work life or the material world. So whatever's going on physically around you. I'm getting for you, because of this heart chakra thing, maybe it's talking about sort of the spaces that are around you, really paying attention to what the physical world around you is looking like and making sure that it's open and clear for this energy to come in, right? We can't, sometimes it's hard to connect into these deeply positive spiritual realms when our spaces are dirty, when we've got clutter around us, when we've got mess, and so this is kind of encouraging you to take a look at your spaces and clear up your spaces. Make sure that the physical world around you is harmonious, and that harmony will actually help you translate into your healing. The final card that we have is from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and I'm going to read directly from the book for this. So we got grounding. Okay, yeah, so this is encouraging you to do some grounding work, and that grounding is really going to help you work out any heart chakra problems you might have. So definitely check out my grounding meditation that's available on my channel. I think that can be really, really helpful for you. Connecting in with Mother Earth and the nature of Mother Earth, like I was talking about before, can be deeply helpful for you. And just going out into nature itself, going out and being in the woods, honestly, that can do absolute wonders for you and your life and your situation. Just going outside, being in the sunlight, being by a tree, finding that sense of calm for yourself. But now let me read from the book, just so you've got that. Other people's words can be really helpful in these kinds of readings, just to get different perspectives. So grounding. As humans, our bodies are of the earth. It is a natural inclination when we experience uncomfortable emotions or energy to ground it out, much in the way a ground wire works with electrical current. However, with so much in our modern lives that causes us to be disconnected from Creator, we tend to gravitate towards false grounding. Overeating, smoking, drinking, and recreational drugs are common ways some try to ground. These items are of the earth, but they are not the earth. This is not a true grounding, and as such, it cannot sustain. It doesn't last. What ends up happening is that, as with most experiences that are false, we need more and more to achieve the same result. To truly ground and connect to both the earth and Creator, practice consciously connecting your energy to the earth. You should not be getting your energy outside yourself, but directly from the divine. This is achieved through meditation, energy work, and mindfulness. Find a way that works for you and practice it. By drawing this card, you are being asked to look at areas of your life where you may be employing false grounding as a coping mechanism. Yeah, so that's the other thing too, is like when we have these kinds of blocks, especially with the heart chakra, you know, a lot of times it's stuff we just don't want to face. And so we give ourselves distractions and things that are having us look away from those things, right? You know, we'll find coping mechanisms somewhere else, and we'll employ, like I was saying, false grounding, which can be anything, you know, even anything that's sort of addictive, or you know, any of that kind of thing. A lot of times addictions and stuff, they come in because it's a distraction. We're using it to ignore certain situations that we just don't want to see. And a lot of times too, when things are deeply blocked, if your heart chakra is deeply blocked, you probably don't even necessarily know when I'm talking to you what that is. But by doing this meditation work, by going and grounding and really meditating, doing some silent meditation as well, can really help, because it'll start to bring that stuff to the forefront. You'll start to bring that out of that center, and then it'll be the thing that you need to process. You'll be able to see, oh, this is the thing that I deeply need to process. This is the thing that I've been ignoring because it's coming back to me. It's coming out to me. It's coming into my mind and into my perspective now. So, you know, you have that ability available to you if you take the steps of like really learning how to meditate, really learning how to bring your awareness back to your own situation, and doing this kind of grounding work can really help with that as well. And then the other thing, like I don't know if I mentioned to you yet or not, but another thing that's available to you is like a traditional Reiki healing. And honestly, like Reiki can be really great in healing out those energy centers as well, because it'll start to bring to the forefront some of those things that you're blocked in, some of those blockages. You'll be able to see them better, and have that open to you more through that. So anyway, that was my reading for you, pile number 2. I hope that it resonates. Let me know in the comments either way what you think. I love to hear from you. I'd like to deeply, deeply thank all of my new YouTube subscribers. It's so great to have you with me. I'm super, super excited to continue to bring you more content like this. In order to continue to bring you regular content, I have a few ways that you can help support me, that I can also help support you. One of those ways is through private readings. If this reading wasn't enough for you, if these readings are too general for you, I can get incredibly specific to you and your life and your personal situation through my private reading. So feel free to go to my website, www.junodrome.com. I have a bunch of options available. I can do a slightly shorter 30-minute pre-recorded reading. This is a super quick reading that I record and send to you. Or it's not super quick, it's a half an hour, super detailed, very, very detailed reading, where I'll pull as many cards as possible for you, for your situation, and we'll get really down deep to the situation, what's going on, what's happening, and it can be really great. And that, like I said, is 30 minutes, and it's pre-recorded. And then I also have a 1 hour face-to-face video chat reading, so we can talk together, we can have a conversation, we can really dive in deep together about what your life situation is, what's happening, and really help you out that way. So we've got those two options available. Another way that you can help support me that I'm really excited to announce is my new Patreon page, where I will be giving you extra perks, some bonus content that can really help add to your life, add to you understanding what's happening in life, And then what's really cool about it too is at one of the levels I'm introducing my new hand-printed tarot deck that eventually I'm going to be selling to the public. But before that, you will have exclusive access to it. So you'll receive in the mail each month one of the cards along with a handwritten letter kind of explaining my own interpretation of the card. And then you'll have that card so that each month, eventually you'll have an entire deck built up so that you'll have that forever, you know, of your own tarot deck. That's my tarot deck. So anyway, that's available at www.patreon.com/Junodrome. So anyway, pile number 2, that was my reading for you. I hope that it resonates. Please feel free to let me know in the comments either way, and have a absolutely wonderful day, pile number 2. Catch you later. Hi there, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is a reading on which chakra it needs some work, which chakra is a little bit unbalanced. And like I said in the introduction, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have like a complete blockage in this chakra. It's just that if you need some energy work right now, like what energy center in your body could use some attention. And like I said, it doesn't have to be dire, it doesn't have to be a deeply dire situation. It's just which one needs the most attention right now. And you know, if you felt drawn at all to any of the other piles, feel free to click on those as well, because they're all kind of different. Although I did create with this system here, I did 2 of each, so it's possible that some of these overlap as well. Let's see for you, pile number 3, what chakra? You've got the sacral chakra. Okay, so the sacral chakra is the second chakra that exists. It exists right above the root chakra, right? Very close to the base of the spine. It's the energy center that houses your creativity, but also sexual energy. So it's a little bit of both of those things. And it's also kind of like, if you've heard of the Kundalini energy or the Kundalini force, that's sort of your creative energy, your creative force, and that exists in the sacral chakra kind of coiled up. And then it's through meditation you can bring that energy up through your body and kind of like clear out all of your energy centers that way. That's one way to do it, though there are many. And so to have a blockage in the sacral chakra might mean that you're feeling creatively blocked. It might mean that you feel sort of an imbalance in like sexual situations, you know, it can be like that. One of those two main issues I think is going on. So we'll read the cards to kind of see what's happening and kind of give you some advice on how to move forward. So first up we have from the Fairytale Lenormand, we've got the tree. Okay, the tree to me always talks about grounding your energy. It always to me is talking about this idea, you know, we've got this tree here of bringing your awareness into the roots of your body, and that, you know, you have this like energy center up above as well. So I think for you too, with the sacral, like I was talking about before with that Kundalini energy, I think for you, this is talking about bringing that energy through your whole body. So it's like you're being encouraged to focus on doing some meditations that are going to connect you to all of your energy centers and ground your energy deep into the earth, and then bring that energy up through your body, through all of your energy centers, up your spine, up into your head, and then up and out, up into, you know, the larger realms or whatever, the greater awareness of what exists above us and beyond us. And so you have this like connective connection energy that's present for you that wants to come up and down here. And so I would look into grounding meditations first and foremost. I have one on my channel. Feel free to use that. I find it really, really helpful for grounding my energy and clearing out my energy centers myself. So I encourage you to check that out. But then there are also many other kinds of grounding meditations available to you. Feel free to look those up. But with that tree here, that's really what this is talking to me about. And maybe even you would want to research Kundalini meditation. Like I said, there's a lot of different people out there doing a lot of different things with a lot of different ideas. So just, you know, use your own discernment. At the end of the day, I find it most helpful and easiest when I'm not looking at these in a super, super esoteric way. I'm not looking at them as being these like deeply crazy, profound, amazing, like I tend to avoid people who who talk about things from that level. I'm a much more practical person just in general. So when I do energy healing and when I do this kind of work, to me, I feel like it's all about connecting to how you feel. It's connecting about how you feel. What is your intuition telling you? When you're doing research on any of these kinds of sources, just, use your own discernment. Feel it out. Does this feel right or does this feel wrong? Do I feel like I'm being manipulated, or do I feel like this is helpful knowledge that's being shared with me on a level that I'm comfortable with? So just putting that out there, that, make sure you're using your discernment always when you're dealing with anyone who's trying to give you anything, But for you, I really do feel like meditation is going to help you in whatever your situation is, and just moving the energy through your body to try to open up your energy centers. And that'll help your creativity flow, with the sacral chakra here. Maybe you're a creative type and maybe you've been feeling creatively blocked. And one way you can really help with that is A, grounding your energy, and then B, moving that energy around your body, and so that you're connecting yourself as a channel. I firmly believe that creative people, we are, and I'm an artist myself first and foremost. I was an artist before I started doing this channel, and I still am one. I feel for creative types, it's all about, I feel it's akin to channeling the divine. We're bringing in these ideas, these visions of possibilities, and then we're bringing them down into our bodies from the great beyond. I feel that. And then we're taking that idea and then we're transmuting it through our bodies, through our actions, through our physical worlds, and making things, creating things, bringing things into the world, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And one way you can really help yourself unblock this is doing these kinds of meditations regularly, because what you're doing is you're kind of opening yourself up, right? You're opening yourself up to be, okay, here I am on this radio, right? I'm opening myself up as a radio. I'm ready to tune these things in. And in order to clear out that channel, meditation is really helpful. And also, grounding your energy is really important, because if you don't do that, then you can kind of get lost, right? You can get super lost in whatever these upper realms are, and then it won't be easy to bring it into the physical world around you, right? And you still have to interact in your day-to-day world. You have to take that stuff and bring it into the physical world. You can't just let it exist up there, because then it's going to get lost. You're going to feel lost. So the next card that we have is from the Wild Unknown Tarot. And you have the Father of Cups, which is the King of Cups. Okay, which talks about compassion, right? The King of Cups is the most compassionate and loving of all of the male and masculine cards in the entire deck. So he is like, I attune it to like this Mr. Rogers energy, or like a Bob Ross kind of a figure, where it's just like this deeply loving, deeply nurturing, compassionate male masculine influence. So you're having that coming into this reading to kind of show you that you can move forward in your life as you unlock this creativity, right? It's also going to come from your heart and your heart center. You're being encouraged, as much as we have the sacral center here, I think that maybe helping you unlock your creativity, unlocking some of the sacral blockages that you might have, is going to really tune into your heart as well, and your heart energy and your heart center. And so I think you're being encouraged to really tune into your heart here, and maybe bring the energy of Mother Earth up from the earth and her heart, and mix it with your own loving compassion and having deep compassion for yourself, and then mixing that energy into the rest of your body, into the rest of your energy centers, can help clear this self out, clear yourself out as a channel, right? And yeah, for you, I'm feeling it's this entire channel is what we're talking about. For you, it might be the sacral energy that's being really highlighted here, but I really feel for you, it's like you're being encouraged to clear out the entire channel of your being, all of your energy centers, clearing out everything, so that you're a clear channel for the divine. You might be even spiritual, or you might be like a medium or something like that too. I get that sense from this pile, and it's going to come from loving yourself, right? Tuning into your own self-compassion is so deeply, deeply important. Really, really, really tuning into self-love, loving yourself first, having this deep, compassionate nature for yourself. And that can help too from connecting into your inner child. I know that helps for me anytime I felt self-conscious or I felt like I've been putting myself down. What's really helped me get out of that nature and that energy is by remembering that I, inside of me, am a child as well, that I was a child, I was a kid, and how would I treat a small child? Would I say all of the horrible things I might be saying to myself to a small child? Of course not. I would encourage them and treat them with love and compassion and want everything to do everything in my power to help them and really work towards that kind of loving, compassionate energy. And I think that with this card you're being encouraged to do that with yourself, to remember to love yourself, and that compassionate energy you can have for yourself, that loving energy you can use for yourself, can really help you clear out all of this energy. And I just keep thinking about my grounding meditation. So I would really, for you, I would really check out my grounding meditation, because I think that it can really help you. Because what I do is I go through each energy center of the body, and I talk about it. I talk about clearing it, and you do that meditation within yourself. It's you're clearing that. You're using the energy of the earth, of Mother Earth, to help heal and clear every single energy center present in your body. So anyway, that was that was that loving compassion card. Let me move on to the next one. We have from the 1JJ Swiss deck, we've got the Ace of Wands. Yeah. Okay, so once you do this, once you clear out yourself as a channel, when you tune into this loving compassion energy, when you build off from a foundation of self-love for yourself, you're tuning now in to this amazing energy of passions and drive, right? You're tuning into your own passions, you're tuning into your own drive, your own desire, your own visions, and you're manifesting that life. You'll be able to manifest the life that you need for yourself, and it's going to come from, you'll have visions of what you need to do, connecting to the other side. You bring that into your body, and then you'll be able to manifest that into the world. And with this Ace of Wands, you're really being encouraged to dive into that manifestation energy, to really make things happen. And then this also reminds me of that Kundalini energy as well. To me, it looks like the rod of Asclepius, which is the rod of healing. I actually have that, I don't know if you can see that, tattooed to my body here. It's that same kind of thing. You've got the snake wrapped around this one rod, which is, the medical field uses that as a healing symbol. But it continues to be this idea for me, is this like the snake energy coiled around the spine, bringing that energy up through your body and connecting it to your upper chakras and clearing out your entire energy center. And that can be deeply healing too, with that healing symbol, that doing that can be a deeply, deeply, deeply healing response for you, and it can help you move through life in a way that you feel more connected, more open, more creative, more loving, all of that. You really have the ability to tune right into all of that, and you're being encouraged to do so in this situation. So that's really beautiful. The final card we have is from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and this I'm going to read directly from the book too, just so you get kind of somebody else's words and an understanding, and I find them to be really helpful. All right, we've got new beginnings. Wow. Yeah. So first up, I see this kind of, this log kind of energy is very similar to that same kind of thing. You've got that like roots going down, and then you connect it through the body and the upper up here. But we've also got this rain, we've got a butterfly, so that's transformation. You've got these flowers here. And it's a nest too. You've got eggs growing in a nest. So it's this new life coming into you. With this new beginning coming too, this connecting to your passions and your drive. When you clear out all of your energy centers, I think, it's the sacral here, but the sacral's blocked, so maybe you're feeling creatively blocked. But when you learn to move that energy up through your body and connect in and build yourself a foundation of self-love first, you're going to be really tuned into this new beginnings energy that's present for you. And it's going to be like helping you follow your passions and your drives and your dreams, and making all of that happen, which is really, really beautiful. So let me read the new beginnings card here real quick. Just so you have somebody else's words, which I find to be deeply helpful. Water, emotion, energy, all life-affirming and life-giving. Patience is the key. Once the deluge of emotion passes, you will see that left in its wake is a wondrous new day, a rainbow of possibilities. Do not get attached to the emotions that surround the situation. This will only attach your identification with the emotion itself, giving it more power and hindering the release, so that the door to your new beginning will not open. Sit in the emotion, cry, journal, talk it out with a friend, and then let it go. Perform a ritual if you were called to do one. Place your feelings on a bit of paper and let it go, whether through water or fire, both excellent transmuting elements. Be thankful for the experience of the situation and proclaim to Creator that you are ready for the newness that is about to come into your life. Yeah, so there you go. If you're feeling blocked about like life situations, emotions, our energy centers, they're blocked by our emotions. So, or our lack of feeling our emotions, lack of processing. And so you're being encouraged, with the sacral here and this new beginnings card, you're really being encouraged to really dive deep into any situation that you might be holding on to, and perform some releasing rituals, whatever that means for you. Just like let yourself experience the feelings that might be blocked and let them go. Open yourself up to them, feel them deeply, and then let it go. Let yourself process it. Let yourself release it. Let yourself let it all flow out. And then that's where you are, then you'll be ready for this new beginning, ready to follow your passions and your drive, and ready to love yourself so deeply. Have this deep, deep, deep compassion for yourself. And check out that grounding meditation. I really think that'll help you. I really do. And there are more available on YouTube as well. So feel free to look up some other resources. You've got a ton here. For sacral chakra as well, there are all of these really great, frequency tone music videos that are available on YouTube as well, that are like some of these frequencies are helping for the chakra balance. So I would look that up too. Those can be pretty helpful to just have playing in the background during your day or playing at night as you sleep. Those kinds of things can be helpful. I find them to be helpful. So anyway, that is my reading for you. Please feel free to let me know in the comments what you think of it. Either way, I love to hear from you guys. And it's really great to see the positive response that I'm getting from you all. I'm really happy about that. Thank you so much to all of my new YouTube subscribers. I'm so excited to have you with me and to keep this journey going. If you'd ever like to support me, or I can help support you further, one of the main ways for that can help both of us out is my private readings. I have them available at my website with 2 different options. We can dive super, super deep into whatever situation is going on in your life, whatever is happening. I've done a bunch of them and I really, really enjoy them. It's really amazing for me to connect to people all over the world, and to really help people out. I really enjoy helping you work through your problems through the cards. So feel free to book me on a private reading. I have 2 different options available on my website, www.junodrum.com. One of them is a half-an-hour pre-recorded reading where I will get super, super detailed into your situation and pull out as many cards as possible to really dive deep into whatever it is. You can ask me a question ahead of time, or we can leave it super open-ended. And it's very detailed. Everyone who's gotten one of the pre-recorded readings has told me that they have been incredibly accurate to their situation and have been really helpful. So please feel free to do that. The other one that I have available is my face-to-face video chat reading. That's an hour long. It's slightly more expensive. But what's great about that is that we can have a conversation together as well. And then, you've got the body language help with that as well. We've got the visual language, which is really helpful. And then we can have a casual conversation. We can really dive deep into your life and your situation. And I can help you out that way as well, which conversation can be deeply healing as well. So anyway, those are my readings options. Finally, a new way that you can help support me that can help you as well is I launched a Patreon page that I'm really excited about. And there are many perks and bonuses that you can get from that Patreon page, but one of the ones that I'm really excited about is I'm creating my own tarot deck that's using a printmaking method that I'm super excited about. Eventually, I'm going to be selling these to the general public. But before I do that, you will get first exclusive access to it as my Patreon supporters, or each month you will get in the mail one of the cards and it'll come with a letter of me explaining my own interpretation of the card, and then you'll be able to build it over time so that eventually you'll have my entire deck. I'm also going to be doing like monthly recap meetings about what's going on. There's also going to be a live group chat reading available on the Patreon as well, so that we can all talk together face to face and continue to build the community together. So remember, that's going to be at Patreon, www.patreon.com/Junodrome. So anyway, that was my spiel for you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, pile number 3, and I will catch you later. See ya. Hi there, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be a pick a card reading on which energy center, which chakra in your body is unbalanced or blocked and needs some attention. And like I told everyone in the introduction, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's a big giant blockage. It doesn't mean that it's super dire. I'm not entirely sure what your situation is going to be, but this is just sort of like which energy center could use some attention right now. And it could be as little as, you know, just doing a quick meditation and opening things up, or it could be, you know, a pretty big blockage. So the cards will help us kind of understand and gauge a little bit more. Also too, if you felt drawn to any of the other piles, it's definitely possible to have multiple blockages in one person. So, you know, feel free to click on any of those as well. And then finally too, I did 2 of each chakra in the piles that I wrote. So when I shuffled these out, it's definitely possible that these piles could overlap. They haven't overlapped so far, but we'll see with this one whether that's the case moving forward. So anyway, you've got the throat chakra. Okay. So blockages of the throat chakra happen when we're not following our own voice. They can happen when we're not speaking our truth, when we're bottling things up, when we feel a certain way, but we're not sharing those feelings, or we're not allowing ourselves to feel those feelings. You know, it can be like, or we're not like living our lives the way we need to. We're not following our own voice. We think we have to be a certain way, so that's how we present ourselves to the world, instead of actually speaking our own truth, and in that we would be much happier and freer if we were doing that. But because we're not, that's why the throat chakra is blocked. So we're going to dive into the cards to get a better understanding of what this throat chakra blockage is and where it's coming from. But yeah, speaking your truth can be a real great medicine. Singing, honestly, singing in the shower can be super helpful for throat chakra blockages, surprisingly enough. You know, speaking your truth, speaking your voice, making sure that you're speaking truth, you know, and that you're saying what you need to say in situations and not being afraid to do that can be a really great way to unblock that center. First up, we've got from the Fairytale Lenormand, you've got the bouquet. Oh, wow, these beautiful flowers. So you're being given a bouquet of flowers, right? You're being given this gift, right? Through this reading, you're being encouraged to, you know, tune into your own creativity, your own uniqueness. Look at all of these flowers are different, right? They've got these happy faces, but each one of them is beautiful. Each flower in this bouquet is absolutely gorgeous. You know, it's a lovely, beautiful bouquet of flowers. And that's what we are in this life, right? Everyone is unique. Everyone is different. We are all our own person, our own unique voice, and we're beautiful because of that. When we embrace our own uniqueness and not try to be like everybody else. I mean, imagine if all of these flowers, right, that were in this bouquet all wanted to look just like this orange flower, right? And they went through like this like cosmetic surgery where they painted all their petals, they plucked out some of their petals, and they did that all to become and look like this orange flower in the middle, right? They wouldn't look like that orange flower exactly. They'd look mangled because they and I don't want to say, you know, I'm not trying to talk about beauty standards here. So you know, obviously if you like wearing makeup and that kind of thing, that's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is you speaking your own truth in your own voice and loving you for who you are, you know, that you are beautiful no matter what you think. You know, you are beautiful for your own uniqueness, in your own inner light, in your own inner being, and your voice matters. Who you are, what you have to say, your own opinions, the way that you view the world, all of that uniqueness is deeply, deeply, deeply important. You don't have to conform to anyone else's standards, anyone's beauty standards, anyone's emotional standards, and anyone's standards in general. You don't have to live your life by pretending to be other people, or moving yourself in towards being like other people. You can be you, who you are, your own unique person, and like I have firsthand experience in this, because for a long time I was trying to conform to different ideas about what I thought I was supposed to be doing in life. And like, I'm an artist and a creative person, and I write music, and for a long time I was just like trying to go along whatever route I thought would lead to me becoming popular, and like, and it was stupid, I feel like it was really hollow, and it felt false. And, I would never felt happy. I felt so lost from that process. And it really kind of took me being like, no, you know what? I'm a very strange person. I'm a weirdo, and I love it. And I got my own unique sense of taste and style, and I love it. And like, I'm going to do my own thing, and I don't really care what other people have to say about it anymore. And that's hard. It's hard to like learn how to detach from other people's opinions, right? That's kind of one of the big struggles in life, I think. But when you can kind of do that and turn into yourself, right, and just like love who you are for who you are, that frees up so much. Because then you'll be able to relax yourself through life too. It won't matter so much about conforming to other people's standards. It won't matter about having to constantly keep up with so much stuff, in order, oh, I got to do this now because everybody's doing that. No, I got to do this because this is how you do that. And I got to do that because that's how people see that. And doing that means that I have to do this and that. And, whatever it is for you and your situation, getting lost in that can feel really gross after a while. You can feel really lost and really disconnected. And this throat chakra blockage is really kind of showing me that, what you need to hear is that you are beautiful no matter what, and you are beautiful by tuning into who you are. What makes you unique? What makes you tick? What do you like? What do you want? What do you want to do? What do you have to say about the world? What does your opinion say about things? And that matters, and that you need to give yourself the space for that. And the thing about that is, not everybody's going to resonate with you. Not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody's gonna even want to be around you when you do that, right? But the thing is, those people who don't want to be around you anymore when you start speaking your truth are probably people that you don't want in your life anyway, right? They're people, if somebody doesn't want to be associated with you or know you or like you when you are just being you, that person can go away, right? Like, screw that person. Who's that person to judge you? You know what I mean? And like, whatever. So then you walk away from that person and you find the right people, right? You find your tribe, quote unquote. You find the people who really resonate with you for who you are. You find the people that mix with you, that gel with you. And then you'll be in harmony, right? Like this bouquet, right? All of these flowers are in harmony with one another. They all love each other. And they all work together to make this beautiful, beautiful bouquet. And each one of them is absolutely unique. Not one of these flowers is the exact same as any of these other flowers. So, it's really that idea that, it takes a group of individuals living in their own truth and their own beauty and their own light to make this absolutely beautiful, wonderful bouquet that exists right here. So next up we have from the Wild Unknown Tarot deck, we've got the Ace of Cups. Yeah, so once you start to do this, you're going to connect into your own like inner light. You see this light filling into this cup here, and your own sense of love, right? You've got a new beginning. The aces are a new beginning in the cups. The cups are all about emotions, love, peace, joy, happiness. When you learn how to let go of what other people think of you and really embrace yourself for your own unique beauty that is present within you, that is here for you. You are beautiful for who you are in your own unique, weird, cool way. And I'm not calling you weird, but I'm calling me weird. You know, I'm weird in my own beautiful way, and I love it, right? It's like, I love who I am. I love my own weird uh, idiosyncrasies. Yeah. And like, I'm just gonna flow through life in my own kind of way. And when you start to tap into that energy, then you connect to this deep sense of self-love and deep sense of inner calm and inner peace, because you are who you are. You're your own unique being, and you're sharing that with the world, you know, and you're not afraid to share it with the world. And maybe you have weird ideas, or you have unique ideas, or you have ideas that aren't going to be accepted by everyone in your family or everyone in your friend group. You know, you're afraid of how other people are going to see you for what you think. But honestly, like, it doesn't matter that much, right? I'm a tarot reader now. It took me a really long time to be able to tell people that I was even interested in tarot, because I just felt really weird. You know, I grew up in New England in the United States, and it's very, you know, it's very science-based, which is fine. You know, I'm a very science-based person in a lot of ways, but I believe in spirituality, and I believe in reading tarot, and I believe in mediumship, and I believe in all of this stuff, right? That is not mainstream and is a little bit out there to a lot of people. But I'm a little bit less afraid to talk about it to the public now, because it's a part of who I am, and it's my own unique being. And the people that love you, you know, your family, if they love you, they're going to love you no matter what you think. They're going to love you for being your own unique being. And at the end of the day, right, it's important for you to embrace yourself. Because that's where this throat chakra blockage is coming from, this lack of embracing your own inner being. And you're really being encouraged to do that now. That you know, you'll be able to fill your own cup with love when you can tell yourself that I love you no matter what. You know, when you build this foundation of self-love where I love my own unique inner being no matter what, no matter what's happening, no matter what anybody says, I know who I am, and I love that person. And that person is beautiful. I am a deeply beautiful person. When you can learn how to tell yourself that, then you can do anything in life. You can achieve anything. You can make anything happen. But that has to come from embracing who you are, embracing your own unique being, and being unafraid to let that being shine forward in life. It's so beautiful. The next card you have from the Swiss deck here is the Five of Pentacles. Okay, and the Five of Pentacles, it talks about this kind of like dark night of the soul period, you know, where you know, you might be feeling really sad and lost and lonely, you know, and you know, a part of that might be because you've disconnected yourself from your inner being, you know, and you disconnected yourself from your heart. The thing about this loss period is it tends to be like these dark night of the soul periods. And if you're going through a dark night of the soul right now, you know, I have a lot of empathy for you, because I've been there. I've been through depression. I've been through some like really dark and difficult periods in my own personal life. And the thing about it is what gets you through those periods is learning to connect to your own sense of spirituality. You know, learning how to see the signs and symbols from the other side, learning how to tune into this loving, compassionate, nurturing energy that's present for all of us. You're really being encouraged to learn how to do that. And that can help you get out of being in these dark and depressed places, right? And that maybe you're if you're feeling depressed right now, or you're feeling blocked, or you're feeling like you're, you know, lost, tapping back into your own unique inner being and being unafraid to embrace that being and share that being with the world is going to bring you out of these feelings that you might be having, this darkness period that you might be in, and you'll be able to move into this new beginning with a foundation of self-love and joy and open nature to the world around us. The final card we have is from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and it's forgiveness. Okay, yeah, so also forgiving yourself for not doing this too, you know, like forgiving yourself for being in those periods where you felt you had to conform. Because sometimes too, you know, especially if you had a difficult childhood, or, you know, you've been in difficult situations, sometimes we have to conform and adapt to survive, right? Especially in childhood. You know, if you had a difficult childhood, I know for me, I kind of had this situation where you have to conform to the ideals and the systems that are surrounding you in order to survive. It's a survival mechanism. But now that you're out of that situation, you have the ability to get out of that now and just deeply embrace your inner unique being. And deeply embrace the strange that is you, the odd of you, the beauty of you, the unique of you. And really pull that out and embrace this self-love and this self-loving nature, accepting yourself no matter what, and forgiving yourself for anything that's happened in the past. So I'm going to read the forgiveness from the book too, because I find it really helpful to have that extra words from some other person just to give you a different perspective. It has been said forgiveness is the greatest gift we can give ourselves. Just what I was saying. Forgiveness of others, but also forgiveness of self. We are the most critical and judgmental of ourselves. I was talking about that with this bouquet here. The inner critic does so much more harm than criticism that comes from others. Forgive yourself for trusting others and getting hurt, for not knowing, for not seeing, for not believing. You are human, and you are growing and learning. Human perfection is rooted in imperfection, right? There is no perfect, or none of us are perfect. There is no being perfect. You don't have to achieve perfection. You just have to be and embrace that being. This card indicates the need for forgiveness in the situation asked about. Yeah, so, the throat chakra blockage too might be coming from, this sense of, if you went through some dark periods, maybe you're deeply blaming yourself for that. And you're blaming, a lot of this on your inner being. And, you're being asked to forgive yourself. I really feel that for you in particular. I think it's forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not being perfect. None of us are perfect. It's not possible. And forgive yourself for striving for that perfection. We all do it. We're all living in a society that requires this almost genuflection towards this ideal perfect person, whether it's physical, mental, all of this stuff, society tells us we have to be so much. But at the end of the day, and my throat's getting all blocked up here. So this is exactly it, at the end of the day, there's only one human being that you will encounter in your entire life whose opinion matters the most, whose opinion you can't walk away from, and that person is you. You have to live with you. So you should love you first and foremost. Love everything about you. Love every part of your own being. And if you have anything that's self-critical, examine it. Examine that. Say, where is this coming from? Why am I critical about this thing? Do I really need to be critical about this part of myself? Or did I learn how to be critical about this part of myself from society, from my parents, from my family, from school, from the world around me, from how I grew up, from my town, from any of that, right? And really, really ask yourself that. Dive deep, And then ask, do I need to hold on to this anymore? Or can I let myself go? Can I let this go? Can I forgive myself for these things? Can I forgive other people from doing this stuff and just let it all go? Leave these people behind, and forgiving other people. Forgiveness, it doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean that you have to let a person back in your life if they've hurt you and you've moved on from them. But forgiveness just... It's a gift for yourself. You give that gift to yourself, like the book was saying. It's I'm going to release this, because when you hold on to it, if you don't forgive and you hold on to it, you're actually holding on to that pain yourself, and you're causing yourself pain. Whereas if you let it go, if you forgive and you let it go, you actually open yourself back up to the open possibility, and, you kind of have that coming in for you. I feel that. It's really, really beautiful. So open yourself up to this new beginning that wants to come in, that's rooted in self-love, that's rooted in self-acceptance. Accept yourself for your own unique being, because you are beautiful for who you are. You are deeply, deeply beautiful and powerful as your own individual, and you don't need anybody else to feel that. You need to tell yourself that, right? You need to tap into your own inner being, inner light, inner love, inner self-love, inner compassion, and tell yourself, I love you no matter what. I love you, for every part of you, and I forgive you for any situation that may have caused me pain, that may have caused me struggle, that may have brought me down, may have brought me into this dark night of the soul period. And I embrace every part of you because I love you. You know, it's so important for us to develop these kinds of relationships with ourselves because, like I said, we're the only person that we're ever going to live with always. You know, anyone else you can walk away from. Literally anyone else in your life you can move on from if you need to. But you cannot move on from you. So embrace you. You know, you are who you are. And that's a beautiful thing. That's not a bad thing. It's a gorgeous thing. It's a wonderful thing. So embrace the uniqueness that is you. Yeah, that was my reading for you, pile number 4. Please let me know in the comments if it resonated with you. I'd love to hear from you. If this reading didn't go detailed enough because it was pretty general, I can get super, super, super specific to you and your life and your situation with my private readings. And getting a private reading with me really, really helps me because I'm trying to support myself completely with this channel so that I can keep bringing you this content regularly and really, really dive in and make this my life, you know? So please feel free to check out my website, www.junodrum.com. I have 2 different readings available on there right now. One of them is a half an hour pre-recorded reading where I will get super, super detailed into you and your life and your situation, and I will pull as many cards as I possibly can in that amount of time. And then the other one is a 1 hour long face-to-face video chat reading where it's a little bit more conversational. We can talk about things. You can ask me specific questions and I can continuously pull cards, and we can really, really, really dive deep into whatever your situation is that way. So please check that out at my website, www.junodrum.com. And finally, another way that you can support me, I've just launched a Patreon page, which you can find at www.patreon.com/junodrum. One of the main perks, there's a bunch of different perks at different levels, so you get a lot of different content from me that cannot be found anywhere else, including a monthly live video chat recorded reading for all of us. So we'll do a group reading together, and then we can talk face to face and kind of build a community together that way. So I've got that available. But finally, one of the main perks is I'm building my own tarot deck that's going to be hand printed, and I'm incredibly excited about this deck. And the Patreon supporters will be the first to get it. So each month I will send out a card in the mail with a description of what that card means, so that you'll have the whole deck available to you after a certain amount of time. So I'm really, really excited for that. Please check out my Patreon, and let me know what you think of it in the comments either way. I'd love to hear from you. A deep, deep, deep thanks to all of my new subscribers. I'm so thankful to have you with me on this journey, and I'm so excited to see where this channel goes as it continues to grow. It's growing so much faster now than it was at the beginning, and I'm so thrilled, so excited, and yeah, deeply ready to see what happens moving forward. So thank you so much, pile number 4. I hope you have a wonderful day. Catch you later. Hi there, pile number 5. Welcome to your reading. This is a pick a card tarot reading on what chakra or what energy center within your body is blocked or needs some attention. So like I told everyone in the introduction, this doesn't necessarily mean that you are deeply, deeply blocked in this area. It could just mean, you know, that there's a little bit in this energy center that could use some attention, some little bit of tweaking from you. It could be as simple as a very quick meditation on the internet or something like that could help you. Or it could be a more deeper issue. So we'll dive in with this to check out. If you felt drawn at all to any of the other piles, there's always a potential that, you know, you can have multiple blockages in one person. And in fact, most of the time, that is what happens. We have different blockages in different parts of our bodies at the same time. So feel free to check out any of those other readings as well. And then finally, I put 2 of each chakra in the pile when I made these cards. So there's potential that this could be an overlap with a different one. So we'll see if that's the case. Then that means that there just needed to be more information on that chakra, or this could be a completely different one that I haven't even talked about yet. So let's find out together what it was. And it's the root chakra. Okay, yep, this one did come up in a different reading. So maybe you'll, if you felt drawn to another reading, you also felt drawn to this one. But it just means to me that there's some more information on the root chakra that needs to come out for a different group of people for different reasons or different purposes. And we will tune into the cards to kind of figure that one out. So first up, we have from the Fairytale Lenormand, we have the Lady. And I always get this like deeply Cinderella vibes from this card. You know, and also this like tuning into your own spirituality. And so the root chakra is all about feeling balanced in the world. It's about feeling stable. It's about feeling like you feel comfortable with what's going on in life and where you are and where you're living and all of that kind of thing. So when it's blocked, it can feel like there's this instability, that there's something missing, that there's just something that our foundations aren't quite on straight. And one of the main ways you can work on that is through grounding. And in that other pile, I talked about grounding. But for you, I'm getting this sense that there's also this connection in with spirituality. With all of these birds to me remind me of angels, and they remind me of spirit guides and guidance. So to have all of these around you, I think you're really being encouraged to connect into your spirit team. Like you've got one. We all have spirit guides and stuff available to us. So I actually just did a reading the other day on what do your spirit guides need to tell you. So feel free to check that reading out as well, because that might actually be helpful for you in this situation. But I'm getting this sense with all of these birds here that you're being encouraged to if you're having any anxiety or you're having any fears, to really, really remember that you have this whole team available to you. Even this little mouse there, you have this whole team available to you that want to help you, that are open to helping you, that are ready to help you. And it's all about like surrendering your fears to the divine, right? Or really connecting into your own spiritual center, really like tuning in, remembering, okay, I have this help available to me. I'm going to ask them, ask your spirit guides, even just out loud if you want, or write it down, or however you want to ask them. Just be like, hey, what can I do to help me in this situation? And then be silent and open to hearing the answer. And the answer is going to be somewhere in your environment, somewhere open to you. You've got guidance available to you, and you're really being encouraged to kind of tune into that guidance, that it's there and present for you in your life when you learn how to see it. So it's kind of like learning how to open your eyes and see that. And then I also see a perspective shift available for you as well, because we have the Ace of Spades here, which is the Ace of Swords in the tarot. And so the aces are all about new beginnings, and the swords are all about the mental body and the mental sphere. So when the Ace of Swords comes up, to me, it's always kind of representing two things. First up, it's representing this perspective shift, changing your perspective, changing how you see things, that there is a perspective shift available to you, an ability to see things and the world and the situation in a different light that can really help change your circumstances. Excuse me. Maybe you have some throat chakra blockages too, so that's another pile. Maybe you'll click on that one. But anyway, another thing is also this idea of cutting cords can come to me with the Ace of Swords too, cutting people and situations and thought processes and things out of your life that are no longer resonating with you, that aren't working. A lot of times, it's, especially if you're a sensitive person. I'm an incredibly sensitive person. Not everybody is, but I am, and you may be as well with this here. It's very, very easy to take on other people's things, take on other people's energies or opinions or worldviews or any of that. It's really easy to be persuaded in that sort of way for some people. And so you're being encouraged to really take a look and say, okay, what is this that I can let go of then? What is it that's here that isn't actually something that I want to think anymore, you know? Or what is something that I actually don't believe, but I'm just believing because I'm heavily influenced by all of the people around me, you know? And who can I cut out of my life? Or what situations can I cut out of my life? What things can I cut out of my life to help me out? And Cinderella is kind of the perfect example of that, right? Like, she's actually, you know, she was like a beautiful girl, and like, you know, her dad was this like really loving person, and then her stepmom treated her really poorly, but treated her stepsisters really great, right? And so then she's like, Cinderella's thinking that she's this really lowly, awful person, when in reality she wasn't. You know, she's just a person. She's fine who she is, and it's the people that she's surrounding herself with. You know, and this point, it's like not exactly. She doesn't exactly have a choice, but you do. You have a choice about who you surround yourself with. You always do. You know, and when she left behind, right, she then married a prince and became this like princess, right? And you know, and then she surrounded herself with all of the prince energy, and then she felt so great about herself, you know what I mean? So that's kind of that idea I get from this card of like, you know, maybe you're getting this root chakra blockages because you're surrounding yourself with people or situations or patterns within your life that you're actually ready to let go of, and that by doing that you can actually tune back into your own sense of peace and well-being. Next up we have from the Wild Unknown Tarot, we've got the Mother of Wands, okay, which is the Queen of Wands in most decks. And the Queen of Wands is all about this idea of really tuning in and connecting to your own power inside, and then remembering that your will, you know, you're a master manifester. The Queen of Wands is a master manifester. She's able to make anything happen. She's one of the most creative and intuitively connected cards in the whole deck, and she's able to take that intuition and that creativity and her imagination and transform the physical world around her to make that happen. So I think with this card coming out, you're a deeply powerful manifester, and what that means sometimes is that because of that, you might actually be manifesting in your life a situation you don't want because of your thought processes, right? Like the Cinderella here, she thinks so lowly of herself, so she's stuck in this situation. But when she starts to see that she, you know, could actually be a princess, you know, she's actually able to then like manifest that into her entire existence and change her entire life. So it's all about what you think of yourself, how you view yourself. And remember, with that throat chakra, I'm going to actually just tell you right here to check out pile number 4, which was the throat chakra. I'm starting to think that that might actually help you with that, because it's all about how you see yourself, you know? And if you see yourself, you know, if you look down on yourself and that kind of thing, that's gonna be reflected and reverberated out into your life. But if you look at yourself with a foundation of self-love and self-kindness and deep, deep, deep inner compassion, you can then take that and rechange and reflect the entire world around you to represent that outside. You know, our inner and outer landscapes reflect one another. They always do. So, you know, how you view yourself and how you view the world is how the world is going to be presented to you. And that when you change your perspective with that perspective shift in the Ace of Swords that's available to you, you can change that entire life situation and change everything and make something completely new happen for yourself. And you have this deep, deep, deep power to manifest in that ability. And your guides and your spirit team are like really ready to help make that happen. I can hear the birds just like chattering outside of my house right now. I don't know if you can hear them in the recording, but they're just going so loud right now. So they're just like, you know, there's so much guidance and stuff available to you. And then the other thing that birds chattering can mean too is that, you know, maybe you've got thoughts going all the time in your head, you know, you've just got these repeated thoughts over and over and over again. And maybe that's part of what needs to be cut out too with this cord cutting. You know, it's time to cut out any of that negative thoughts. It's time to cut out any of that negative self-talk, any of that negative anything that's going on in your brain that's just, you know, continuing to play over and over and over again. And how you do that is you change your perspective, and you really tune into, you know, this sort of inner interchange, right? It says you can change your perspective, and it's through gratitude. Gratitude can really help you. I would recommend looking up gratitude meditations, and I talked about this in the other root chakra pile, which was pile number 1. So you may want to check out pile number 1 as well, because that was another root chakra imbalance. And that I talked a lot about grounding. I have a grounding meditation available on my website that can be helpful for you potentially. I also talked about gratitude, and practicing gratitude, can really help transform how you see the world. When you start to look at the things like, okay, I know that there are things in my life I don't like. I know there are situations in my life that I'm not into. I know there are people in situations that I don't want to be a part of anymore. All right, I get that. But what are the things in my life that I'm happy about? What are the things in my life that I'm grateful for? If you have a roof over your head, that's something to be grateful for. If you have access to food, if you have access to clean drinking water, these are things you can say thank you for. You can really and then talk to your spirits, talk to your team. They're here for you, right? Say thank you so much for helping me have these things. I'm ready to let more of this into my life. I'm ready to bring more of this into my life. So thank you for allowing it to be here. Thank you for helping me find a way to have these support. Thank you for having, letting me see. Thank you for having, thank you. I'm grateful for my ability to see. I'm grateful for my ability to move through the life that I'm in freely. All of these kinds of things. By tuning into that, you have the ability to really help yourself move out of whatever this energy is. Next up, we have from the 1JJ Swiss deck, we have the 8 of Swords. Okay, and the 8 of Swords is like this energy of the 8 of Swords is this idea that you're feeling blocked, right? And we kind of talked about this before, but it's this like self-imposed blindfold. It's a woman who is blindfolded and bound, like she's tied up so she can't get out. She's trapped. But the thing about the trap is it's a trap of your own doing. The thing about it is it's like she could get out of this trap at any time because she's only really loosely bound. Her blindfold is already slipping off of her face, but it's up to her to get herself out of it. If she wanted, she could wriggle her arms out and then take that blindfold off and just walk away. And nobody's going to do anything, right? They're not going to, when she walks away from that bound situation, nobody's going to force her back into it. She's only there because she thinks she has to be. She could actually get out of that at any moment. So you're kind of being encouraged to do that, that these blindfolds you have on yourself, these bounds that you're feeling, are bounds that you are putting on yourself. And I know that's not easy to hear. Nobody likes to hear that, right? But it's kind of the truth. The truth is that you have the power within you to get out of whatever situation you're present in, whatever situation is blocking you, because you're this master manifester. And it talks about changing your mind, changing your perspective, shifting what you view, how you view the world. You have the ability to catapult yourself out of whatever is holding you back, whatever is binding you, whatever that is. You can catapult yourself out of it by changing your perspective, changing your mind, changing how you see the world, and moving into this new mode of being that's wanting to come into your life. It's ready to come into your life, and your spirits and your guides are so much here helping you, wanting this to happen for you, wanting to help you. So you can ask for help too, ask the universe for help, and you'll be surprised what help starts coming into your life when you allow yourself to receive that help, when you open yourself to receiving the help that you need. It will come into your life in whatever way works. Just be open to it coming in any possibility. And it might not come in a way that you expect. So be open to any way that it comes in. You don't need to know how it's going to come in, because it's going to be it's a total mind transformation, right? It's a total perspective shift. So allow yourself to be open to changing your whole mind. You don't actually know all the answers right now. You don't actually know everything right now. It's really easy to get caught up in this idea that, oh, life is just what it is, and I already know everything that's happening. This is something I was stuck in this perspective for a really long time. So I'm just speaking from personal experience. It's really easy to get caught up in that idea that, oh, everything that's possible I've already done, and I already know, I've already tried everything, and that's it, and I'm just done. It's all just done. I got nothing left. It's so easy to get lost in that kind of nihilistic viewpoint. But in reality, there's a whole other way of living. There's a whole other mode of being. There's a whole other mode of thinking that's present for you. And it's going to come in from accepting other perspectives, right? And you can ask your guides and your spirit team to help you bring that perspective into you, that shift into you, that change into you. But you have to be open to the idea that you don't know all the answers right now, that you don't know everything right now, and that's okay. It's okay not to know everything. It's okay not to have everything figured out. That you have a new way of being and seeing that can come into your life. It's just going to be you open to accepting that maybe you need to change the way that you think of things. Maybe you need to change the way that you move through the world day to day. Maybe you need to change your environment. Maybe you need to change the people that you surround yourself with. Maybe you need to change the people that you follow on social media, right? And you need to change the way that you read social media. Maybe you need to change the way that you look at the news, any of that kind of thing. Be open to changing how you live your life, because that kind of change is going to allow you to change the life that you're living so that you can have the life that is more harmonious for you, that leads to more happiness, that leads to you feeling better about yourself, that leads to you feeling more open and less blocked off. So I really get that sense for you. The final card we have is from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and I'm going to read directly from the book as well, because you get another perspective. We also have two snakes here. When the snakes are kind of that Kundalini energy, which is clearing out the entire system of your body. So check out pile number 3 as well, which was all about the sacral chakra and that snake energy. So honestly, for you guys, I'm feeling just watch everything. There's a lot of information in this entire reading. So, you don't have to, but you might be connected to pile number 3 as well, with all those snakes. But we've got integration here. So let me read the integration card as well, just so you get that. Integration. We are a sum of all our experiences in this and other lives. We all bring forward a wealth of knowledge, talents, and wisdom. One of the challenges is remembering who we are. We are bombarded every day in every way with messages on who we should be, what we should do, what we should wear, how we should live. These messages come from the media, society, our friends and family. This is exactly what I was just talking about, right? With those perspectives. Be ready and willing to change your environment, and let go of any of these shoulds that are coming from outside of yourself. And even strangers can drown out who we really are meant to be, who we have grown into lifetime after lifetime. Find some quiet moments in your day to identify and start a relationship with that small, strong voice inside you. Pretty soon, you won't hear the other messages. Many times in your interactions with others, you hear that small voice that tells you something is not right. Your logical mind tells you to stop it, nothing is wrong, stop being silly, dramatic, overreacting. You may ignore your inner voice in a quest to fit in, to be loved or admired. You do not realize that your inner voice is warning you that the other person's energy is not matching their words or actions. Listen to your instincts about this situation or person. Yeah, so you're really being encouraged to tune into your intuition, I was talking about with this Mother of Wands card here. And yeah, really kind of like start trusting your intuition. Figure out what you want for you. Let go of some of these things that are coming from other people. Let go of any situation that's holding you back. Let go of any situation that's making you feel bound and trapped, and really tune into what you need for you, and that it's okay to live your life for you. It's your life. You live it for you. That's a very freeing experience, like really tune into that. So anyway, pile number 5, that was my reading for you. I hope that it resonates. I hope that you liked it. Please let me know in the comments either way. I love to hear your comments and see where things are going. Thank you so much to all of my new YouTube subscribers. I'm deeply thankful to have you with me, and I'm incredibly excited to continue to bring you more content in order to help me bring more of this regular content to you. how I can help you even more if these cards didn't quite resonate exactly, or if it was too general for you and you want a more specific reading to you and your personal life and your situation. I have 2 different private readings available on my website. Check that out at www.junodrome.com. One of them is a half an hour pre-recorded video recording reading where I will pull as many cards as possible for you and your life and your situation, and we'll really dive in deep and tune into what's going on for you. It's really great. I've had a couple of people really do this and love this reading, so that's available to you. I also have a face-to-face one-on-one video chat 1 hour reading that's slightly more expensive, but we can have a conversation. We can dive deep into your situation together and talk it out. We'll have body language together, and we'll be able to just like generate this zone together to really get into it. So that is also available to you at my website, www.junodrome.com. And then finally, I have a new way for you to help support me if you're interested at all. I've started a Patreon page, and I'm really excited about it. There's a lot of different extra perks on that Patreon that you can't get anywhere else from me, with extra content, extra stuff. And one of the main perks that I'm really excited about talking about is I'm launching my own tarot deck. Eventually I'm going to be selling it to the general public, but for now, my Patreon subscribers will have exclusive access to this, where each month I will send you in a mail one of these cards with from the tarot deck for you to really tune in and learn the tarot yourself, so that over time you will actually build my tarot deck and you'll have it with my own interpretation in a letter each month for you. So anyway, that was my spiel. Thank you so much for tuning in with me, pile number 5. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later. See ya.